there's two divisions.
Okay, so if we're going to stick in the Atlantic, the next worst team is Wake Forest, in my opinion. I think Wake Forest is not quite as hot garbage, but they're at the very least garbage that's been microwaved in the last half hour and been sitting out.
They're not. They're not a well put together team. I don't have a lot of faith in them.
They haven't been for many years. Like, the last good player I can remember from Wake Forest, and actually, I can't even remember which one came last. It was either linebacker John Abadi or it was quarterback Riley Skinner. Other than that, the only person I can think of is Tim Duncan.
I mean, I guess they have a decent quarterback battle going on with what's the names, Newman and Hartman. But I was reading stuff that should earn them a trip to the postseason again. I don't see it. I think they're bad. Maybe in division, the only other team I'd say that might be worse than them, other than Louisville, is potentially Boston College. I don't have any faith in them either.
I have a ton of faith in A.J. Dillon.
Yes, but I don't have faith that the rest of Boston College can keep it together. So
their defense has been fine.
Yeah, he's not a one-man wrecking crew.
No, they're.
I think they're both week-old garbage. They're not year-old hot ass garbage like Louisville, but
I see Wake Forest going 4-8, maybe 5-7. I see Boston College at worst 6-6.
The reason I'm going to agree with you in that statement that I think Boston College is better is because Wake Forest has some players that are seniors that can do some things in offense, but they don't really have defense. They're not a defensive team. That's not something that they're strong at. Boston College is at least solid on defense, and they have a much better chance of controlling the pace of play. So I think that will put them in positions to be closer in games, where I feel like Wake Forest at times is the train's going to come off the rails and the game's going to be over. They're not going to be able to battle their way back into games.
Plus, they have what I argue is the best running back in college football. You might say he's not easily top 3. Easily top 3.
In A.J. Dillon, yeah, I agree with that.
It's between him, Taylor, and Etienne. And
that allows him to them to control the pace of the game. That's why I agree with your assessment that I still think Wake Forest, given everything they have, will be lower, and Boston College a little bit higher, just because Boston. I mean, after A.J. Dillon, they don't really have much on that team.
I mean, they've got this hot young quarterback named Rat Mayan.
Ugh, what an unfortunate name.
Oh yeah, that is not a great name.
You guys, I just made him up. Oh. I just switched Matt Ryan's initials.
Oh, fuck you.
I was gonna say, don't they have what's his name? Anthony Brown?
Yeah, and
he's decent. He's not terrible.
He's not gonna lose you games against the bad teams. He'll definitely lose you games against Clemson. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, between him and Dillon, I think they'll be decent. Yeah, I retried my former statement. They'll be a little bit better than Wake Forest. So yeah, I think consensus is Wake Forest is the second worst.
Well, Dan Beebe,
in the division.
Do you agree Wake Forest is the second worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that Boston College will probably do enough to earn them a bowl bid, but I don't think Wake Forest can do it.
I think, like I said, I see...
Although everybody gets a fucking bowl now, so it doesn't really matter.
I see the worst Boston College doing 6-6. I expect them to be 7-5.
Okay.
Next team, so then we'll go... I'm going to disagree. Yeah, I'm going to disagree, but you guys are probably going to say Boston College, right?
Yeah, or you say NC State.
NC State and Boston College are going to have the same record, in my opinion. They're both going to be 7-5.
I don't see that being unreasonable. I mean, NC State played better last year than people thought.
They played worse than a lot of people thought. They were very highly ranked, and when they went into the game against Clemson, everyone thought this was going to be the game that Clemson finally gets a challenge, and they got mollywopped.
Well, yeah, but they didn't play. Something happened at the end of the year where they trailed off. Now, if they can shore up whatever happened for that skid at the end of the year, we could be wrong. But if the trend continues, that's where they should be, is at 7-5.
It was entirely, if you ask me, it was entirely the loss to Clemson. They were deflated. Because they were, 4-0. They were hot, scoring a shit ton of points, run into Clemson, get their asses handed to them, and just fucking lost control.
Yeah, I don't know. They're the biggest wild card to me in the Atlantic because it can really go either way for them. But
wait a second. Wait, I'm going to change this up. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. For me, it's Louisville, Wake Forest, NC State, Florida State, Boston College.
Wow.
Because Florida State sucks too.
Yeah, but
Florida State does suck. I just think their schedule's a little bit more forgiving.
DeAndre Francois can't play quarterback anymore.
No, but Cam Akers is so good.
As much as I dislike Taggart, we have seen a lot of success from him, so I'm not going to count them out quite yet. I think they could potentially all go 7-5. I just think Florida State and NC State have a better chance of going 4-4 than Boston College does in the ACC.
I think Boston College of the 7-5 teams would be the better one.
I mean, that may be true, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. As far as it's concerned, I kind of group the three of them together. I feel like they're going to finish right next to each other in the standings as far as the Atlantic is concerned. They're going to be right with each other, and they're going to have similar seasons for similar reasons. Well, I'll say similar reasons in this regard. They have talent in areas, but the opposite side, they are drastically lacking in other areas.
Offensive line.
But I'm saying that for each team. Like, they have bright spots, but at other parts on their team, they're lacking so much that it's going to prevent them from being any better than just average.
Florida State was such a bad team that got hidden by the end of Jameis Winston and then DeAndre Francois and what's his name, Jimbo Fisher. Now once Jimbo left and DeAndre Francois got hurt, you saw that team went from a team that was flirting with an 8-4, 9-3 record to shit.
Well, yeah, but that you can't control injuries. Jimbo leaving.
They worked on their O-line a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if that offensive line rebuild is enough to get them to top middle. I don't think they're going to be better than that. I don't think they have a shot in hell at actually topping the division. But
in fact, they might be 4-8 this year. Florida State.
I respectfully disagree.
I disrespectfully agree.
Like he might be able to develop a little bit more. And again, Cam Akers fully healthy. That's gonna be nice for them.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Akers, I'm not sold on him. I've loved the thought of Cam Akers for the last couple seasons, but he just hasn't done it for me. Home run, Red Sox.
Is nice.
Anyways, so
that just like sigh of exasperation. That was the best. That should be Tony's recording. Just is nice, and then just stand on. It's just like, God damn it, Tony.
I don't know what to say.
Devers is a beast. Oh man, you know what? Sometimes I do feel bad for Yankee fans when Tanaka's on the hill because he is shit.
But he's so good sometimes, though.
Yeah, but he's the most bipolar pitcher I've ever seen in my life. He's either really good or complete dog shit. There's no in between. He doesn't have just like an average outing. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
They should have known it was going to be this way after 7 runs in the first inning. I would have pulled him then. I'd be like, oh, I've seen this stick before.
Yeah.
That's like Mike
Yeah,
Mussina, too.
a little bit spread wasn't pulled. They got 7 in the first inning. I knew it was early. I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, and he's still getting tagged. He hasn't gotten anybody out in the 4th and given up a home run, and he got a man on first.
Yeah, no. When we tuned in, it was top of the second. It was 7-1.
Still a lot of game, though. I mean, if it's anything like the Twins series, it's going to do.
Yeah,
yeah, but this is what happens in Red Sox Yankees games. Scores get outrageous, blowouts happen. I don't know. I get to see Sale pitch on Sunday. I don't give a shit about anything else.
Okay, guys, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's keep going through this ACC. Next.
So we've touched on
clusterfuck in the middle.
Yeah,
Boston College, Florida State, and
NC State.
Sure.
Here's where I'm gonna fuck with some people's minds. My
You're
number
say
2.
Clemson at number 2?
Clemson at number 2.
You're
out of your mind.
Yeah.
Hold on. Listen, this is why I have Clemson at number 2. One, their defensive line is completely different, and their backups weren't very good when they played last year.
Okay.
So any team that is run heavy, Georgia Tech is going to give them a problem with that triple option. I'm not saying Georgia Tech's going to beat them.
Blue chippers in the pipeline for defense. Like, yeah, their defensive line all went to the NFL pretty much. But
Clemson's defense got worse. Syracuse got better. Syracuse has arguably the best secondary in college football. Tommy DeVito is a bona fide stud. I think Syracuse wins the ACC this year.
I like Syracuse a lot.
I think Syracuse and Clemson both go 7-1 in conference. Clemson's one loss comes to Syracuse.
Their offense, if anything, got better, and they put up 44 points on Bama in the national championship. Like,
yeah.
I don't see how you can bet against them.
I'm betting on their defense being worse. And Syracuse's offense being better.
All right. So first of all, you're wrong. Mainly because of the fact that, yes, Syracuse is a feel-good story. They did come out of nowhere. No one saw them having the year that they had last year. But they're not going to be fucking overlooked anymore, okay? They're going to be taken seriously for what they did last year. But you can't sit there...
Their regular season win total is right now at 7, according to odds makers. So I think they're being overlooked right there.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with Dan that they're going to be a team to watch. I just don't think they're going to beat Clemson.
No, I agree with you. I'm definitely with you on the Syracuse at number 2 camp. But I still think that they're not going to be overlooked in the ACC. So I should change that. I don't think ACC teams are going to overlook them. I think odds makers are overlooking them because they see Syracuse and odd makers think basketball. They don't think football, and clearly they're not paying attention to what the fuck happened last year, and the team being pretty much solidified from what it was. But that being said, I don't understand how you could take one of the best offenses in college football with arguably the best quarterback in college football and think that they're somehow, and the defending national champions, that whooped up on an Alabama defense and think that they're not going to be able to... Will they give up more points? Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Can't deny that. They'll give up more points. But I don't think teams are going to be able to keep up.
The reason being because in 3 games last season, 2 games? At least 2 games, maybe 3, if I'm remembering correctly. Clemson would have lost if not for the referees. One of them being to Syracuse. Syracuse got better on offense and defense. Clemson's defense took a step backwards.
Yeah, Clemson has an issue with playing Syracuse. That's fine and dandy. But when it comes to the entire season in all 12 games.
You don't have to look at 12. You look at 8. The 8 of the conference. I'm saying Syracuse loses
Okay,
one.
in the
Clemson
8 of the
loses one.
ACC.
Syracuse and Clemson